Hi, and welcome back to Woodruff Woods. I'm really excited today. I finally got my new kit with the wiring harness needed to complete my selective control valve installation on my 2017 2032R. This is the same installation as you would have on a 2038R. You may recall from my last video, I was unable to find the right connections on my tractor to connect the wiring harness that was supplied in the original kit. After some research and mainly by my dealer, any tractor considered to be pre-stage 5, I'm not even sure what that means, but those tractors require a secondary kit. And just so you know, the secondary kit number is BXX10513. And if you have the instructions, which you can print off from Green Tractor Store, I've found them on Green Tractor Talk, you will see that that kit is referenced in there, and the instructions are actually within the selective control valve kit on how to install that. I'm going to walk you through that installation. We'll get that all hooked up. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting on a grapple, but I understand it's going to be here in a couple of weeks. And once we do that, we'll be able to see how this thing works. So anyway, I'm going to get things ready and we'll get started. So the first thing we have to do is we have to remove the cowl from up around the steering wheel console area. To do that, you just pull out on these. This will slide in this direction once I get the other side unhooked. There's actually a little slot where a piece of this slides into as you put it on and keeps it in tight to the machine. So as you take that off, you might want to look at where that is just so you understand how it all goes back together. The first time I took this off, I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out why the thing was sticking out on the one side. And in fact, I had missed that slot. So that's just a tip for you. So I'll get the other side unhooked, get this out of the way, and I'll show you where we're going to connect this. So we're on the left side of the tractor if you are sitting in the seat left side. Anyway, in the instructions, which I do have right here, it will show you, and hopefully you can see that, it will show you a diagram of this terminal, a terminal block, I guess I would call it. Anyway, if you look in here, according to the instructions, it says that this particular one is switch power, this is power, and this is ground. However, if you look at how these are labeled, and John Deere has done a good job of labeling all of these things, this is ground, the bottom one is constant power, and this top right one is switched power, which you're going to need to know as you install this. As you can see, that's the switched, there's your ground, and there is your constant power. So with that being said, I'm going to be installing it based on how these are labeled. I trust this way more than I trust the directions. This looks pretty simple. Just, you know, get a socket on there. I may actually disconnect the ground cable from my battery just so I don't short out anything. So I'll get to that in just a few minutes, and we'll come back with this all wired in. So I'm all wired in here. As I mentioned, I did match up with the wires that are in there, and it did seem to make sense once I started doing it. The instructions call for routing the wires, which includes this plug that goes to nowhere, over the top of the console. I'm going to take you around to the other side because I do want to show you. So in order to do this, I found it was easiest to remove these 4 bolts. There's 2 here and 2 here. And just get this, I believe this is a computer module. Get this loose. I did unhook the throttle as well. And then route my wire down through. As you can see down in here, I'm going to try to put a light here so you can see. This plug is rather large, and you can get an idea by the size of my hand. That plug's rather large, and it doesn't want to go down through an area like this. So by loosening that did help. I hope that helped someone else. I did find that to make it much easier. My next step will be to connect to the solenoids here on the selective control valve and begin routing my wires backwards. The instructions do call for removing the back tire. I'm actually going to try not to. I'm going to try to remove this piece right here and leave the tire in place. I think I can do that and just save me a little bit of lifting. So I'll get started on putting that next piece of harness in and bring you back when I have something to show you. So just an update here where we're at. I plugged in this particular connection to the one solenoid, as well as this one underneath, and we mounted this to the bracket here with the supplied bolt. I did throw some thread locker on there. If you watch my videos, you know I use that stuff a lot. I like it especially on machines like a tractor where there's vibration. Helps, you know, from that little nut falling off and, you know, potentially running over this unit, which I'm sure John Deere has a price that indicates they're very proud of it. Also mounted the, if you can see right in there, these push through on the other side, mounted the harness there. And so now I'm at the point where I'm in the process of moving myself back towards the back of the tractor. And it's really a matter of just using these clips and some of these wire ties just to get it up out of the way. So I'm going to do that. We'll connect it into the joystick and we should be done. Okay, taking you underneath. So you can see our wire harness. It actually comes down. I'm going to try to get in here. We routed along the back here. Let me get exactly underneath and try to give you some light. Hopefully you can see. We've routed it right back along the back here, all the way, and I'm going to move you around. I do apologize that I'm moving you all over. So just to give you a reference of where you're at, this would be your pivot point for your pedals, your forward and backward pedal. So right back in here, it's routing, and I'm going to try to reach back in as far as I can and point. It is back behind there. It comes up along these hydraulic lines here, and then goes on up into the fender well and connects to the tail off of the joystick. Up here, by the control valve, you can see we're plugged in to the harness that we ran earlier behind the dashboard. And I think at this point I'm ready to go. And so now I'm just waiting on my my grapple, and I'll catch that in a future video. I thank you for watching, and really hope that this video and its 3 lengthy parts helps someone out there and putting their kit together and maybe having all the right parts at the right time. Thanks for watching. Bye now.